Hello everybody, welcome to South Global Live Show. So this is Hammond from the South Gene SS team to show you something new of the South Gene SS products. Because the coronavirus spread in the global currently, so we cannot currently go to you for the real life demonstration, but we can make it online. Before my presentation, I want to show you one of our big events happened in 2019. Let's look at here. So it was the biggest tender we won last year in Indonesia. More than 3,000 pieces RTK received in the tender. It seems not possible to complete all the instrument testing, packing, and shipment in 2 weeks, but we really made it. Over 1,600 surveyors worked at the delivery training sites there. So let's see the video there. It's about 3,000 species. Okay, so let's back to my topic today. So my topic today are about the IMU RTK G6 operation and the X-field operation of our Galaxy G6, and then the South New external radio S6, and the new and the preview of the new RTK receiver INNO7. Okay, let's go to the first section, then the IMU RTK G6 operation. So what is the IMU? IMU is the abbreviation of the Initial Measurement Unit. It is an electronic device that measures and reports a body's specific force, angular rate, and sometimes the orientation of the body. More and more, the industries adopts the IMUs for their service, also including the Gene SS positioning system. The IMUs can provide more accurate posture information for the RTK receiver, so that the receiver can calculate the precision coordinate after compensation. Many people could not understand how the IMU works. Now I simply explain the brief principles of the IMU. The major factor is that the GNSS board will combine with the angle information from IMU sensor. Those angles information from 3 answers. That's pitch, roll, and yaw. You can imagine that the postures of the airplanes. So in order to let you understand well of these 3 angles, I will demo with the Galaxy G6 here. So at first, we will take the control panel of the Galaxy G6 as reference. Then this is the pitch. This is pitch. And then this is roll. This is a roll. And this is the yaw. Okay, so I think it will be clear for the users that's how to understand these 3 angles. So we can obtain some information from this page. Compared to the traditional tube measurement, the IMU model doesn't contain the magnetometer. the IMU outputs the angular velocity by the gyroscope sensor, then combined with the positions from GNSS board to calculate your information. This is the difference to the traditional measurement. We have the professional IMU model installed on the Galaxy G6. Then how can we implement IMU measurements by the Galaxy G6? Okay, next I will show you the video how operate on the G6. Here is the video that at first we should enter the correct antenna height. Then establish Bluetooth connection between the controller and rover. Then config. I think this operation is easy to the users or many people. And then we'll go to rover and configure the parameters as usual. Here, we'll take the data collector internet mode, for example, and then we'll turn on the tilt compensation options. And go to the point survey. In this interface, we can see that at the right bottom corner of the software interface, there is an electronic bubble icon. When we click on the software, it will pop up. When we click on, it will pop up a reminder with saying the method of the initialization of the IMU. And we can also notice that the tilt icon at the right upper corner of the software interface, that it's red at this moment. So it means the IMU measurement is not available. When we shake the instrument back and forth, and the tilt icons will turn into green. That means the IMU tilt measurement is available, and we can take the rover to measure the point with the tilt measurement. Sorry. So you'll see it again. This maybe some people will want to review again the video, so I will make it again here. The establish the Bluetooth connection, and then straight instruments back and forth will initiate the IMU. So I think this operation is extremely simple, and the initialization of the IMU is very fast. So we can see that the tilt icon has turned into red. That means we can take the rover to measure points. So, and for the IMU, we have to notice that the IMU is available under the fixed solution. Then we turn on the tilt compensations in the rover configuration interface. And then the tilt icon is red. That means the tilt measurement is not available at this moment. So when we shake the instruments back and forth and initialize the IMU module, then the tilt icon turns into green, and the tilt measurement is available. After that, when we come to when the IMU module is complete, the initialization how and where we can apply these IMU tube measurements. But before this one, I will show you that when we compare to the IMU initializations, we can compare to the other brand's operation. So here, the other brand's operation is that we need to collect one coordinate at one point and then follow the instructions to walk 20 or 30 meters away, and then to collect another point to determine the vector, and then shake the instrument to complete the calibration. These procedures would take about a few minutes. And the other one, the operators need to lift the pole tips and draw the circles, then just like use the pen to draw the circle like here, and then shake the instrument back and forth to complete the initialization. This procedure also would take a few minutes. So if the IMU initialization completes, what are the applications we can use the tube measurement? I will show you another video that's where we can use this IMU tube measurement. In the ordinary survey jobs, we don't need to spend more time on strictly leveling the instruments while collecting the points. So as long as the pole tips reach the target, so we can collect the points immediately and leave next point. And also, the IMU RTK can work in the strong magnetic field area, like near to the high voltage lines tower. The IMU RTK G6 emits to the magnetic field change, so you don't worry about the accuracy efforts from the magnetic field change. Or some points where the instruments cannot be level, like at the corner of the wall. Although the poles can be vertical, but most of the satellites would be broken. So we can incline the instrument to a certain angle and check more available satellites. And the next one is when we survey here, just like when we survey at the road with a lot of cars, trucks coming, that is very dangerous if the surveyor stands at the road. So we can just stand at the shoulder and extend the pole tip to the measuring point with the IMU tube measurement. So it can protect the surveyors from this dangerous situation. And some points maybe are covered by the cars or some huge objects temporarily that cannot be moved immediately. So we can reach the pole tip to the point and measure it and then leave. Or some points cover field waters, then we can also use a pole tip, just reach the pole tip to the point and then measure and then leave. Or some points in the drainage channel with the silt, the surveyors cannot stand there directly. So we just reach the pole tip to the point and measure. And then next one, moreover that some points where the surveyor cannot stand there directly or the danger place right here in the project area. We want to measure the pine lines here and just extend the pole to the pine light and measure on the lens, then finish, go. So maybe the IMU G6 overcomes various difficulties in the surveying jobs. However, many people would have this confused. What about the accuracy? Can the accuracy be guaranteed? Here is the table of the coordinates measured on the several points. PT points are the leveling points, and the IMU points were measured by the IMU tube measurements. So we can see that the coordinates are very close for each point, each 2 points, just like the point 1 and the IMU 1, and then point 2 to the IMU 2. So the accuracy, we can have the guarantee. And also here, this is a table of the coordinates measured by the South Galaxy G6 and the S-brand receiver on the same points. So we can see that the IMU measuring points are very close to the centering points. I think the IMU measured is very stable on the tube measurements. And here is the scheduled plot of the IMU measurements according to the tilt angle. So most of the points are under 4 centimeters. The accuracy would get to worse as the tilt angles increase. So if you want to see real results of the IMU measurements, so you can order one receiver to take your real experience. And here, the next section. The next section is about the X field. The X field, maybe somebody would not know what is the X field. So today I will introduce these new functions, and these functions will help you to improve the work efficiency. So the X field is a new service that extends the RTK's positioning for several minutes when the RTK primary source of the correction streams is not available. We can easier to understand from this definition. So in this page, we can simply know that how the X field works. Actually, X field provides a special correction stream broadcast by an L-band satellite that is generate use the RTX technology. So the X field is generally available within the covered area where the GNSS constellations are visible. So most of the RTK systems currently rely on the radio or the cell phone connections to receive the correction from a reference station. The reference station in this case could be a single physical station or a traditional single core station or VRS. If the signal outage takes place at the lower locations where the building height is between the rover and the reference station, that would cause a suspense of the RTK positioning. So in this situation, the L-band satellites will provide a high precision correction to fill the gaps of the physical station correction outage. Hence, the feature name is X field. So we will understand what is X field. Maybe someone would confuse that if the X field use the RTX technology, whether the position would be different with using the traditional correction stream. But in fact, Xview is able to produce the RTK positions with the precision level similar to traditional differential RTK, because it tackled the same source of the errors. Here, I will show you another video, then you will understand how to operate the Xview on the Galaxy G6. First of all, we enter the web interface of the Galaxy G6. Then we go to configuration interface, and we will enter the Xview code for the OEM board. After that, we will enable the Xview enable option. Check this box, and click the enter to save the configuration, and go to the satellite checking, and then check the box of the RTX satellite. Also, we need to click the enter button to save your settings. Then we go to the software operation. As first, we also need to establish the Bluetooth connection between the robot and the controller. This is also easy to many people. Then we go to the robot and configure just like the data links. Here we take the internal UHS for example, because later I'll show you that it's easy to disconnect the correction. Then we turn on the S-Link duration here. And we'll go to the point survey and see here. At this moment, we can go to measure some points before the Xview takes effect. We will compare the coordinate accuracy with the Xview points. So we will go to measure some points before the Xview takes effect. At first, we measure here, just like for example, we measure the first point, and then go to the next one, it's the second point. So at this moment, we just measure the points as usual, without lowering the instruments, and then without Xview takes effort. But during this moment, the RTX correction is available. So after that, we assume to disconnect the correction streams from the reference station by turning off the base. And we can see that the differential edge is going up. So we can see that on the software. That means the correction really stopped. And then we will measure the same point, then compare the coordinates between before Xview takes effort, and after that we use Xview. So we measure the second point and the third point so we can see that the differential edge is 99 seconds. So that really means the correction already stopped for a long time. So now we will go to view and see the coordinates here. And the point 1 is measured by the instrument as usual. And point 11 is measured with Xview. And point 2 and point 22 are the same points. And the point 3 and the point 33 are the same point. So we can see that the coordinates, those coordinates are very close. All of them are in the centimeters level. So let's review the operations on the Galaxy G6. The first step, we need enter a code for the OEM board. Then check the Xfeel enable box on the receiver's web interface. And then check the box of the RTX satellites for the satellites tracking interface. After that, we will configure the parameters on the controller software. So the first step is to bridge the Bluetooth connection between the robot and controller, and then turn on the S-Link duration. So when we disconnect the data streams from the base station, then we can see the differential age goes up to 99 seconds. That means the connection already disconnected from the base station. But the fixed solution is still there, and the factors are still in a higher level. So let's take a short rest, and I'll drink the water. Okay, let's go to the next section, and we'll continue that. That is our new external radio, a flagship UHF. This is the South Shell developers intelligent external radio, which based on the Linux system. With this platform, the radio features you more than expected. So like the internal web interface, we can configure the parameters and view some status, working status for the radio on the web interface. And for this kind of the radio, it's able to it made an adaptive dynamic adjustment for the transmitting power according to the external battery's voltage change. When the voltage of the battery is going down, the radio still keeps the constant power for transmission. And from these figures, we can see that the power on the S6 can keep in a stable level with time goes. And here we compare to the other external radio so the S6 external radio is keep in a higher level of the power. So it can guarantee the working distance of the radio. And from these pictures, we can see the power consumption of the radio. So the curve also keeps in a stable level. And the S6 radio adopts the ESD, overheat protection technology, to prevent the components from static damage. So you don't need to worry about when during the working period of the S6, you don't need to worry about the temperature of the device. So So the radio in this figure, we can get the information about the temperature of the S6 during its working period. So it's the same level with the other brand's external radio, like the Zettel and the Stonix. And these flagship radios can transmit the data streams via Bluetooth connection with the base station. So we don't need cables to connect the base station anymore. I will show you another video how to operate the parameters for the radio to connect with base via the Bluetooth connection. At first, we enter the base web interface via the Wi-Fi connection, then go to the data transfer and serial port config, and then change the Bluetooth data streams as the correction for the base station. And click Enter button to save the settings. Then we go to the radio. In this case, we can set up the antenna to a higher place, an open place. Then keep a certain distance from the base station and get rid of the signal interference. And we use the same operation, then we enter the radio web interface. Then go to the network config and then the Bluetooth config, then select the master modes, and then click on the search button. Then the radio will searching the Bluetooth, will searching the surrounding Bluetooth, and then we choose the device, choose the Bluetooth device from the base. After that, it will establish the connection, Bluetooth connection between the radio and the base. It's easy to operate on this radio and the base. So you'll see it again. So at the first, we need to configure the correction, the data correction, the data formats for the base station, and then go to the radio and configure the Bluetooth connection. When we click the search buttons on the radio, then it will search the surrounding Bluetooth devices. So we see again the video and choose the master mode and click the search button and search the surrounding Bluetooth IDs. And then when maybe this procedure will take a few minutes, and then we choose the Bluetooth from the base. After that, the Bluetooth will be connected. So let's back to my presentation here and continued. Compared to the previous external radio, the X6 radio can give you a warning where the antenna is not connected or incorrect connection. It will stop the transmitting. It will stop the transmitting correction streams if the antenna is not installed correctly. So it will protect the inert components while the antenna have not doesn't didn't connect correctly. Also, on this page, we can see that the radios can support the mainstream radio protocols on the market, like the Trim Talk, Settled, the Source, High Target, and the CHC. And the radio channels enhanced to 124 options. So you can choose more the radio channels to get rid of the signal interference. Here, at the first section, it's the first shot of our new receiver. That is the INNO7. It is the first shot of this new intelligent interaction RTK receiver, INNO7. This new RTKs adopt the new engines and the new platform. So I will show you in the real one and introduce what will be new technology on this receiver. Here, we can see that at the first sight, INNO7 adopts the bigger screen. This screen is the color touch screen, so we can use our finger to touch it to configure the working mode or the other parameters. Now we switch on it here. So it's a colored touch screen here. So later, satellite sky plot will appear with the searching. So here you can see that the satellite sky plot appears with searching the satellites here, but there is no the satellite indoor, so it keeps the searching like this. So we can just tap on this one and use our finger to sweep on the screen that we can have the coordinate information like here, and then go again to see enter the working mode configuration. So right here is the static mode, right here, base mode and rover mode. And sweep the screens up, and then we also can go to see the data links configuration, also the system's configuration, like this. Also, we can configure the working modes by these reserved buttons, because this just in the case of the surveyors worked in the north area, because sometimes they are wearing the gloves, so they cannot use their fingers to touch the screen. So they can use these two buttons to configure the working mode and the data links and the other parameters. Also, INNO7 is equipped with the up-to-date 5G model. 5G models, network models for this one, and it gives the high-speed information interaction and the wider expansion space in this big data area. So maybe somebody will confuse. This one can be downwards compatible with the 4G and 3G network. I say yes, because this one also can downwards compatible with the 4G and 3G network. So you don't need to worry about that. There are still no the 5G networks yet in your country or your area. And inside this new receiver, the radio model the radio models adopts the new communications technology with the voice modulation. So the receiver can recognize very weak signal from the base station. And then the working range can enhance to 15 kilometers. So the internal radios comes with the external features. Also, we can see that this receiver also adopts the most popular dual battery structures. So it can provide enough power for the daily work. Also, this INNO7 can adopts the dual RTK algorithm technology to double check the coordinates that we can avoid the fake point during the survey. So this is very important or the helpful or the useful function on this one. And also INNO7, the format for the receiver can update online. So you just enter the web interface and then go to the format and download the format online. And this one also combines the IMU measurements, INNO2 measurements, and the X-view measurement. So it's more functions on this one. Also, we have the this one comes the 64 gigabytes SSDs for the data storage. So it's enough space for the data files. We don't worry about the internal storage. So those are the contents about my topic today. During my speech, I saw many comments and questions from our friends. I will pick some of the representative questions to answer that. So, okay. So here are the first question is about the X-field. So these friends will ask, how long can the X-field last the fixed solution when after disconnect the connection from the base station? So in my experience, and I tested this one before, and the X-fields can last the RTK fixed solution about 5 minutes. If you want to measure the points with the X-fields, so you better to measure the points within 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And we'll go to the second one, the second question. And the second question is about the S6 external radio. So this friend also asked, how far can the Bluetooth work between the radio and the base station? So as I know, the radio is equipped with the BLE Bluetooth 4, BLE type Bluetooth 4 inside, and so it can guarantee the working range of the radio. So the typically distance of the Bluetooth is around 20 or 30 meters. But this also depends on the Bluetooth in the base station. So here Also, I'll pick up the third question is about the new receiver. This our friends asked that when will the new RTK receivers be put into the market? I think this also a concern of many friends. So we have started a small scale production for this new RTK receiver. So we expect that it will be put into the market in the middle of this year. So here, another question is from our friend Yasin. What is the effect range between the base and radio? Yes, just as I said, it's around the Bluetooth working range between the base and radio is around 20 or the 30 meters. But this also depends on the Bluetooth inside the base station. Because due to the time here, I cannot ask so many questions here. So maybe later our technical staff will answer the relative question. So thank you very much for your time, and at the same time tomorrow, let's look forward to the South New total station. Thank you very much.